Hello everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of Prismata. We're going to jump in the queue here. And in the meantime, let's have a look at Sagan versus Megasup. Megasup? I guess it must be sup. It's kind of weird to have the double P at the end of a word. When does that ever happen in English? I can't think of it. Cat and Pie. Alright. Base plus 8, 90 seconds. There's kind of an argument for being a high-ish econ thing, like with Savior maybe even, and Colossus. Or say Mahars. But I'm really worried about the amount of freeze in this set. Like, Tatsu is high econ, but like someone who goes for high to moderate econ with Tatsu should be in good shape against someone who goes really high econ with Savior, right? That's my thinking anyway. Because, like, Mahars really hate Tatsu. You have to hold back several of them to avoid being breached, and then you're vulnerable to a fork if they, like, freeze something else and make you lose a Mahar. Then there's Endotherm Kit, which is, there's just like a blizzard converging on you here. Also good against Colossus, of course. And, like, given that, there's not really anything that stands up to Tatsu, I feel like. So, I think you need to go for a third engineer and at least be able to threaten Tatsu's. Because, like, Tatsu is a high econ unit. You need 3 engineers to do it well. Typically. But you don't want to be super committed to Tatsu because your opponent can just, like, get Rhinos, and there's not much here to save the Tatsu from Rhinos. So you need to have, like, a backup plan. But you also need to have Tatsu in your range to stop opponent from getting really greedy. I expect to buy Galvani's, of course. Once I'm done droning, this is a good thing to spend energy on. Mega Drone... Not sure. It would probably be alright. I don't know. So we triple drone, getting us to 13 and $1. After that, maybe Galvani, Animus? That's probably a little too fast, isn't it? Maybe not. Okay. So, opponent's going for some pretty fast stuff. So this is like AAD1 next turn, but I don't want Tatsu's against this, do I? I don't think so. I kind of just want green. Opponent isn't really set up to threaten Tatsu's, and I can respond with either Mahar or if they don't try Tatsu's, Mahars should be quite good. And if they do, I think Gauss Cannons are pretty alright. These two Galvanis feel pretty stupid. Like, why did I get the third NG to just, like, get this Galvani instead of... I don't know. I think it's okay. I didn't really expect Fastimus. I don't see why that's good here. But I also need to be ready to respond. Like, I can't just triple drone, and I think I would then have trouble with what exactly. Maybe I should have just kept droning. Gauss Cannon Conduit? I could then get a Mahar on the next turn, and meanwhile I snipe their Galvani. Forge is a little too early since I don't want a wall next turn. I think Mahars are the way to go, really. It's just a question of whether this Gauss Cannon is defensible or just bad. Like, I can build Mahar and 2 NGs next turn, which I guess should be okay. I don't know, I'm so bad at Mahars. I think I'm gonna lose this game somehow or other. No, I need NGs, of course. And if they do that, like, that's fine. I'm pretty sure I'm okay with that. Second Animus seems a little bit much on 11 drones. So I'm absorbing just fine on this Mahar, although I assume they'll hold an Immolate. I'd like to get a Mega Drone sometime, but I'd also like another Mahar because this one's going to be in kind of rough shape. Not really good for absorbing on. What if I did this? Now, next turn, I can do 4 damage and Mega Drone. And also wall. Seems alright. Since I'll want a replacement absorber with my Rectifier having taken damage. And I want the Rectifier attacking, of course. They want to threaten 7. I'll need a force field for that, in addition to the wall. Okay, so I really don't think this can be correct. This, like, Tatsu. I mean, obviously having gotten the second Animus, they get the Tatsu, but I feel like we should be beating this. And it might be with Gauss Cannons, actually, not with Mahars, to make myself less breach vulnerable. But right now I can't get 2 attack if I get a Gauss Cannon. Well, can't do it anyway because they can freeze and breach. So now they're doing 5 damage, which is killing 1 NG. Here, they freeze Rectifier, but I get to hold it back for free anyway, because they're exploitable here. Interesting. I thought there was still some play left in this. But I guess they didn't. Let's go see what it was going to look like in the end. I think this is a defensible play. Like, obviously it defends, but is it good? Can I defend it in an argument? Like, I'm only at like 6-ish attack, right? I guess 5-ish actually. And they have substantially more than that. Similar drone counts. My advantage is I have green, and they're extremely breach vulnerable. This is the line I was going to take, so like, how does it work out? They do this, of course, and go in like so. Oh, actually, I force field as well to over-defend the NGs for Galvani purposes. And I guess they're doing something like this. Kind of stinks a little. But it's not like everything's roses for me either. Seven and 3 is 10. And they're probably losing some more, of course, but like I just can't be holding these rectifiers when they would actually do damage, right? I need to actually pressure this. I assume it goes like this, basically. Maybe I can hold one back on the Immolite turns, maybe. They have 12 and 3. This defends just barely, so I could probably afford this. But like, you see what's happening to all my drones? They're not happy. Whereas opponent is kind of doing just fine with Wall Rhino NG every turn, aren't they? When I attack for 8, they need to build 6 defense. That's Wall Rhino NG, and they can just do that. Meanwhile, I'm force fielding. So, like, I think this is clearly... Well, I'm only force fielding some of the time, and I'm adding attack when I don't have to deal with these Immolites. Although, maybe I won't be able to in the future. I don't know. 7 and 3, so I can do like this. It's really 6 and 3. So I could actually force field Splitter. That turns off all my NGs. I don't think that's good. This is probably better. Turns off all my Galvanis, I mean. Okay, so maybe making some progress, but it's still really scary on the Immolite turns. Hang on, so the amount they really have is like 11 and 3, right? So I do need this extra force field. And it looks like they're turning off a Galvani now. Oh, apparently not. Nice. This is 6 and 3. And I want to over-defend by 3. So that's like 13 is my goal here. Six and 3. Keeping 2 NGs alive. I can NG here, but I think just Gauss Cannon is actually better. Give up a little bit of Galvani clicks to get in some more damage. Okay. I do think that we're in good shape. Wasn't sure until now. And I'm And even now, not like 1,000,000% certain, but it does look pretty good. They really have 11 and 3, which is 14. This gets the NGs back online, but I have to hold a rectifier, which stinks. But it's okay, we're gonna get there soon. Oh, miscalculated somehow. Yeah, well, that's probably not such a great plan, then. Let's do this, I guess. And then I guess they defend the Tatsu. Just in time, huh? And we do get through. Okay, interesting. So how did we end? I mean, obviously, like, the game might not have played out exactly like that, but I was sort of, when the opponent resigned, I thought that they still had some chance. Certainly in that line I end up winning, but maybe there's some line for them that would have been better. I think the main theme of what went wrong this game is that Tatsus are a unit that requires a lot of drones. Opponents saw me get blue and Mahars and said, I need Tatsus against that, which, fine. Tatsus would be pretty good, but you can't get them. It looks like you can, but, like, really? I mean, even that one Tatsu did a great job. It made my absorb much worse many, many turns. But you don't have the economy to spend a whole turn on buying Tatsu just because your defense is so poor overall. And it's not like mine is that much better, but I got the Mega Drone, right? I had Galvani's. Oh. And green is like generally good against Tatsus. Mahars are a different kind of green, but they're okay. They fit as like an efficient attacker that's a little bit breach resistant, so you can maybe gambit a bit. Well, you can gambit if you're not defending with the Tatsus, which you might in fact not be against the sorry, if you're not defending with the Mahars, which against Tatsu you might someday not do, but you probably don't want to allow them too many breaches because then you're getting no absorb. But it's just like you kind of want to have Gouch Cannons to be breach proof, and if the game comes down to mutual breaches, the Mahar Gauss Cannon player will be obviously ahead. But you'd still rather it not get there, and Mahar is just like an efficient unit. It attacks reasonably well and threatens to defend on situations where that's helpful, which you'll recall I did some of in the end game of that analysis. I still kind of think that this was a difficult set to choose a line for. If opponent followed up with third NG, as I think they should have, then what exactly am I doing? Probably Conduit first. But I guess I don't have to choose, right? I'm getting triple drone instead. And then opponent will get a Conduit, and I'll get a Conduit, and it'll all be like one happy Mahar party. And maybe someday you can even get Savior. Once everyone's committed to like not doing anything crazy aggressive, and you can build Mahars to defend or whatever. But it would be a pretty late Savior, I think. Since at any time the other player, if you Savior too soon, the other player can can throw down a quick double Animus and Tatsu rush you while you're busy scrambling to defend and waiting for Savior to arrive. There's not really any soak here to defend Savior, so I don't know. If you are going to get it, I think it has to be very late in a situation where, like, it's maybe not even all that great. I don't know. I'm not good at Savior. I feel like it should be playable in the set, but I don't really understand how. Certainly not against Fastimus. Okay, anyway, I guess that's all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.